on live. Don't get on my nerves before we get started. And I'm
Look,
already in a bad
Chunky
mood
in
because I
the
don't feel
chicken.
good. Girl, go ahead
Okay,
and get out my face.
we live now. Love you, Vaughn.
You're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on a dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Shining light and be lovebird. Shining light and be lovebird. Shining light and be lovebird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shining light and be lovebird. Shining light and be lovebird. Shining light and be lovebird.
Hey, Facebook. Happy Thursday. We are excited to be here. People, come on in, come on in. Let's get this party started for tonight. We have a
Hey, everybody.
an amazing guest going to be on our show tonight. I cannot wait for her to tell y'all her story. I'm going to let Vaughn take over and, tell you a little bit about her. And we're going to go from there.
We have Lili Washington on here today. She's an actress. She's a makeup artist. She's multifaceted in all types of things that she does. She will come in here, and she also has a short film that she wants to tell you guys about that y'all should try to catch because it's really, really good, telling about her life and her story. And she's open to any questions that any of you may have. She's an open book. So let's get this party started, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you guys.
Hello, Lili Washington. How are you, beautiful?
Facebook is one of these haters tonight, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I should have did that too. That was a good idea. We should have. So we just gonna start. We're gonna jump right in. Just start with you. I'm gonna let you tell the viewers about yourself, and then me and Fonda will kind of bounce back with questions we have, and just kind of let you tell your story, and let these viewers understand, what life's really about: getting up, moving, and grooving, and not making life beat you down, honey. I'm about moving when times are hard.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure. Okay. So I am Lili Washington. I am the owner and founder of YB Limited. It's the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited, because I'm not limited. I hope you're not limited, because I don't do that.
And
that's not what we do. Okay.
Okay.
So I started in Atlanta. My company started in 2013, right? And when we started, we were the first and only full-service mobile glam team in the country. Did we lose her?
No, she'll come back in. It's probably her at Wi-Fi.
Okay. So we were the first and only mobile glam team in the entire country, right? And so I started off as a makeup artist, but we had like the hair, the makeup, the wardrobe, all of that stuff, right? And then from there, we ended up doing that put me in touch with like a lot of actors, a lot of models and stuff like that I started to work with, right? And in essence, I was managing the glam team, right?
okay.
And with me managing the glam team, and being in touch with a lot of models and things like that, the models was like, wow, we love the way you manage these fashion and beauty professionals. Like, why don't you manage us? So I started managing models, and then in January of 2019, I ended up moving to New York as a model manager and makeup artist, right? And one of my models came with me, and things just started to take off from there. And like I would be mistaken for being a model when I would show up with, because I was very hands-on as a manager. And so I went
Uh-huh.
into the Vogue office last year because I got a tip that they was having a meeting about one of their the upcoming fashion shows. So I'm the type of person, I'm going to show up in your office. I'm going to just come in and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start talking as if we have an appointment at 3 p.m. Right?
Right.
Right.
So that's what I did. And I did that to get my model booked, but then they ended up booking both of us for the Vogue fashion show. So back in
Okay.
January, that was like my first modeling gig. And I ended up kind of, I always say, being bullied into modeling because the model that I was managing was like, you need to do it and you need to do it with me. So we ended up doing it together. And then we started doing some things together. And then from there, she was starting to try to push me into modeling more. And I was like, I don't really want to do it. I like to be behind the scenes. She was like, no, you have it. And she said, as a matter of fact, you need to be acting as well. I didn't want to do none of that shit. Okay. So then Miss Bowen came through. She came
Uh,
through and shut everything down. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a creative being. I love to create. Okay.
Right.
And
mhm.
that's my happy place. I love to create. If you follow me on my page, you never know what you're going to get, but it's always going to be positive and it's always going to be real and it's always going to be me. Right. So long
Right.
story short, I kept it going through the pandemic. I kept entertaining people. I felt like there was enough negativity. There was enough Rona talk. There was enough fear factor going around that they didn't need to come to my
Right.
page to see that. Like that, I didn't need to add to that noise.
Right.
And with that, that ended up getting me more modeling gigs. It got me my first acting gig. And then one of my model brothers, Mr. David Hand, was signed to the, I ended up getting signed during the pandemic to a modeling agency,
Right.
Miss
I
Speak
saw that.
Models. Yep. And then
Mhm.
I looked up and I was in Vogue magazine during the pandemic that happened. So
I
all
Okay.
this
saw
stuff
that.
happened. And
You've been
it was,
working now.
yeah, I have been literally working this entire year. I have not stopped. This right here that we're doing is the last thing I will be doing before I am going on vacation. And usually I go on vacation November, December anyway. My industry shuts down,
Mhm.
so that's when I
Right.
start taking my little trips and stuff like that. But I am so tired, but I enjoy every minute of this year. So then that's when that led me to um, shooting the first film that was revolved around a Black Trans Lives Matter topic, right?
Right.
Which I would,
Mhm.
which I am so open into going into, which is, you know, when it comes to the trans topic and the non-binary topic and whatever LGBT topics that I can answer, but I don't speak for the community because I'm just me. Um,
Right.
Right.
so we did the first film, which we told a story about Miss Alex and her journey as a Black trans woman. And then after doing that, it was kind of like just seeing if we can do it, like producing something. I never produced a short film. That's not, I mean, you know, I did some makeup and some photography and all that other stuff. So then after we did her film and it kind of just took off, they were like, now it's time to do your story. Because I have a very colorful story. It's colorful. You know,
Right. Right.
let's,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, we're gonna use the word colorful.
Uh, colorful.
And
Right.
long story short, David Han and I got together. We produced my short film called The Love Throughout, and it just premiered this Monday. To the reviews, listen, the reviews have been crazy,
I
Yeah.
crazy.
bet.
Like the response and the impact, because we wanted to help people, we wanted to
Mhm.
educate people, because this it's a lot of taboo topics going on in that short amount of
Mhm.
time that we cover, you know.
Right.
um
Yes.
we cover my addiction, we cover my journey to becoming Lili, because I wasn't born Lili. I wasn't
Mhm.
born identifying as non-gender conforming or non-binary, or some people consider me trans. If that's so, I don't care about none of that stuff, to be honest with you. I'm the spirit inside the body.
Right.
I don't care about none of that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's a gist of who I am, and you know, what I've been doing.
Listen, if you can't be yourself, you can't be anybody. That's how I feel about that. You got to be
Listen,
yourself.
I was miserable. I was miserable
Mhm.
trying to be somebody else. Like it almost
Yes.
literally killed me. You know, it literally
Let me ask
almost
you a
killed me.
question. Let me ask you a question, Lily. At what age did you realize, I read your bio, so at what age did you realize you was different and there was something missing or not there, if that's the right
Uh,
word to use?
okay, so it was 4 years old that I can recall that I knew that I was different. It's as far back as I was aware of self, I was
Right.
aware that I was different. I was aware that my energy was different, that I didn't identify with any of the males in my family or any of the males I came in contact with in the daycare center and the preschool. You know, they
Mhm.
wanted to play basketball and football. I wanted to play hopscotch, and you know, I wanted to jump
Right.
rope. I wanted
Right.
to cheerlead. Um, I just didn't identify with them, and I honestly didn't think anything was wrong with it until I was made to think something was wrong with it.
Wrong
Right?
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
get that.
yeah, so I knew I was different, and um but I wasn't allowed to embrace it as a kid. So that started me on a journey of learning how to live a double life
Hmm.
and learning how
Hmm.
to I didn't realize this I was making a choice, but I was choosing to be uncomfortable so that I could possibly make everybody else comfortable, because I felt like if you all were comfortable,
Hmm.
then I may have a chance, right?
Right,
um
right.
Right.
you know, so then
Hmm.
that's how I ended up into the whole drug abuse and all that stuff.
So how was
Just trying to
how was
shield
your,
one thing for the.
it broke up, Vaughn. Say it again.
I was saying, just trying to shield your true self for other people, trying to just appease somebody else, and living in misery within yourself, But, whew, okay. But go ahead, Shelley. What were you about to say?
I was going to ask you, so when did you, okay, so let's say, I'm going to say like maybe roughly, you said 4, when you got into the addiction and you realized you was living uncomfortable, when did you actually change into I want to feel like a woman. This is how I want to look. This is what I want to embrace. I want my family to see me this way. I want them to accept me this way. When did that start? How did you toggle with that? Because I think that's what a lot of people toggle with when they're trying to be themselves and can't because their family won't accept them.
Yeah, when I got clean, because I had used drugs from the time I started experimenting drugs until the time I got clean, I was high for
Hmm.
years.
Okay.
There was no downtime. I was on something, right? Because
Okay.
from the time I discovered drugs, it was like, oh, finally. Like, why didn't they tell me this existed now? Because it was the first time in my life I wasn't self-conscious. Because up until that time that I found drugs, every little bit of everything I did was very calculated. You know, I was supposed to stand like this and walk like this and hold my spoon like this and, open the door like this and talk about this. Don't talk about that. Try to deepen my voice when I talk. All of those things were going
Hmm.
through my head every second of the day, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so when I was discovered the drugs and alcohol, it was like, oh, I don't care. I didn't have
Hmm.
that feeling. So when I got clean and the crutch was gone, immediately all of that came back. And I was like, okay, what do I do here? What do I do with this? Because now I remember why I used so long. Like this
Hmm.
makes sense now, but I don't want to go back to drugs. So obviously
Right.
something's wrong, right? And I had become so accustomed to trying to appease people and live in a double life that even after I got off of drugs, I was still doing it and wasn't even aware I was doing it, right? So
Right.
I was
Hmm.
trying to live life one way. So mind you, I was out the closet. I had been out the closet, whatever the fuck that means, for like 10 years, right? But I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
that's supposed to mean. But I hated myself. I wasn't okay with that shit. I wasn't okay with being gay. Like, I was like, motherfucker, I'm only out the closet because I'm feminine and shit, and y'all won't let me be in the closet. Like,
Right. Right.
I don't have the
Right.
option. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the option like a masculine man to be down low. So shit, I got to be out the closet, but I'm not happy about this shit. You know?
Right.
Right.
So I had a resentment against it, and I had a total resentment against anybody who reminded me of it, right? Anybody who was outwardly gay, who was feminine, a male, feminine male, And if they got anywhere near me, I didn't want them anywhere near me because I felt like it was going to draw too much attention to me. So that's why I recognize what I'm looking at when I see some shit.
I
And so,
understand.
you know what I'm saying,
Yes,
right?
real.
But I
Uh-huh.
let them live. I let them live, and yeah. So, so with that being said, I was like, damn, something's really wrong, right? And so I was still accustomed to trying to live this double life, and then that's what ended me in prison because I didn't go to prison until I got clean because I was still living a double life. I was still living as a criminal, right? But not using drugs and trying to get clean and just trying to figure it all out. And then when I went to prison, I it did something to me. Like it did something to me. I ended up getting in a fight while I was in there, and I beat the living shit out of this dude. But that's neither here nor there. And because people just take this smile.
They try you, right?
You're right.
They try you.
It's okay. Yeah.
Right.
I'm willing to help them out. I'm willing to help out. So I ended up doing two months in solitary confinement, and I really got in touch with myself. Right, I started reading a lot. I had no other choice but to read and masturbate here and there. Well, more than here and there. There's a lot of time.
I can't with you right now.
Reading and masturbating. You learn stuff a lot.
We'll say not in that order.
Not in that order, but it was a sequence.
Right? Yeah. And sometimes you can mix the three. It depends on how creative you are, right? And I'm pretty creative. So in there, I started to get to know who I was, and I was reading a lot, and I was just starting to tell myself the truth about me, right?
Right.
And it was actually a lot of the men in there having conversations with a lot of the men in there. They were just like, "You are fraud. Like you're phony. Like why you came up in here trying to look like this? Because listen, you saw it in the film.
I did.
That's how I walked in prison with those dreadlocks. I had Timberland boots on, baggy clothes, facial hair, because that's what I was. That was my mask. I was hiding behind it. I felt like that was my safety net because that was that one little last bit of layer that I can have between me and people to not know who I was. My little safety net,
right?
To just try to keep you off of me, right? Because I felt like I was already drawing too much attention. So if I could kind of give you that, you'll leave me the fuck alone, right? And so, those dudes in there, they saw right through me. And so I would talk to them and then they was like, yo, be you. Like, be you. And so I started to get in touch with myself and giving myself permission to, I couldn't even say be me because I didn't know who the fuck I was. But I gave myself permission to find out who that was. And I promised myself, whatever I find out, I'm going to honor it. Whatever I discover, I'm going to be true to it. Right? And I don't know why the hell I said that. Because things that my whole life took a complete turn. And so there, that's when I started to, like I said, I've always been a creative being, right? And so in there, I started to make my own lip gloss, right? So then I was known as the pretty boy at the time. Well, they call you girl in prison, like the pretty girl with the lip gloss. That's what they used to call me, right? And I didn't know I was doing nothing special. I didn't know I was doing anything special. And then I started making my own nail polish in there because that's just what I do. I'm a creative being. And so when I left there looking completely different. I no longer had the facial hair. I no longer had the dreadlocks. I was, and I came up, people was like, whoa, who is this? I didn't even know, but I knew I was honoring what I was discovering at that time.
Wow.
You walked into yourself.
Yeah.
And that was my question. You pretty much answered it because I was going to ask you at what point did you was like, fuck it, this is me, this is who I am, accept me, or take it or leave it, this is me, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, why should you have to be somebody else to make everybody else happy when you're miserable? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, my thing is, if you watch this, I always say, if you like it, I love it. I don't have time to be trying to please nobody else. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. And keep your ass moving. And that's just what it is with me,
Yeah.
And,
And it's a process.
yeah, it's a process, and you have to like really dig deep to who you are. Shit, we walk around sometimes and just trying to figure out who we are. You know what I'm saying, without all of those things going on within us. You know what I mean? So for people to look at people and not know a person's story and just start assuming things, you need to just back up because you don't know that person's story. You know what I'm saying? So I commend you, girl, because listen, that little snippet had me like, oh my God, what am I do? I need to watch the rest of it.
I was boo-hoo crying. I was doing the same
Girl.
thing. So, but Lily, question though. So when you said you came out, you found yourself in prison, coming out of prison, being you. Now, you went in one way. So when your family saw what you have changed into, what was that like?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm careful about talking about family to a certain extent. That's the one thing I'm a little, because I don't like to, I don't like to demonize my family.
Right.
And for the most part, and I'm talking about the most part, my family was so on board. Like,
Okay.
so on board. My dad and my brother have always been my biggest fans, my biggest supporters. And the funniest thing is, I remember like yesterday, the first day my dad came to my house and I had a full face of makeup on, and I was like almost shaking going to the door because I'm like, fuck that, I'm opening the door like this, right? And I opened the door, and that's exactly how he looked. He went, he started laughing. He said, "Damn, you look like your mother." And I was like, oh, that's it?
That was easy.
Yeah, he was like, "You're my child. I always knew who you was." And my dad come from the streets. My dad seen it. He's seen a lot. So it's hard to. My dad and I are so much alike because we have these crazy pasts. So we're very jaded. It's very hard to, My mom, on the other hand, she is a conservative Christian. Her and my stepdad, and that's who raised me. That's been a difficult road, but I will say we are getting a lot better. And that was not easy for my mother at all. Still not easy for her. My mother still cannot go on my Facebook page. It's difficult for her. And that's her business. I finally had to get to the point where I realized that that's her business. That's her belief system. That has nothing to do with how I love her or how she loves me. It has everything to do with her belief systems and with, all of that stuff. But recently we've gotten to a place where we have learned to agree that, well, I already was there. She just met me there. I was already there waiting for her.
You're right.
But I can care less what you believe in. It ain't got nothing to do with me. So she finally arrived to that place and was like, you know what? I'm tired of being concerned with things that don't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, me trying to change you is wasting time that we could be spending together.
Absolutely.
Loving each other. So this was as recent as last week because of the movie, because of so much talk she was hearing about the movie. And now I will say this is the day before she's seen the movie, so we still haven't talked since she's seen it. So she might have changed. She might have went right back to church and figured out some more shit.
And said, "What is going right?"
Next communion. Okay.
But being a mom, and I can say this, I think me and Vaughn can speak. My son is transgender, like I said, and my family doesn't accept him at all. Like, at all. Like, it's like the worst thing known to cornbread, my child, to everybody. So me and Vaughn is pretty much what she has in her world. I'm sure she's watching this cast tonight, and I think your story will move her a lot. What do you think? She still battles with who she is, like the acceptance part. It's like she's happy as a woman, but she's unhappy, and I can feel it as a mom. Like, I accept it because that's my kid, and sometimes it's hard, because you think about all the things you think to yourself. did I do something wrong to make her that way? But like you said, you knew from a young age. I knew from the time she was 2 that something was wrong. Like, I was like, something ain't registering. And like you
And
said,
nothing
she
was
didn't want to
wrong.
play
Don't
football.
say that. Nothing was wrong,
Not
Shelly.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Correct me, please. So something was different. And I would go, and I would tell Vaughn, she don't like playing with stuff. She want to play with girl stuff, all this. And I would beat her. Like, I'm going to be transparent. I used to beat her. And I used to be like, this is going to come out of you. Like, I don't like it. Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And then when she finally started being a woman, she left. She left at 15 and was in them streets and just all over the place.
That's a
And
typical story. Yeah.
and I would cry. Like, I still cry now. Like, I still ask myself sometime as a mom, like, what did I do? I see the beauty. I see that. Like, she's beautiful. But then I feel like I did something wrong. So what do you do to get that feeling out of you? Like, because I've always felt like, what could I have done different to make her better or to make her not want to be that way?
Okay. So, oh God, you asked some really good questions, Shelly. I'm so glad you asked the questions that you asked because, first of all, let me explain that the majority of my following on all of my platforms do not identify as LGBT. I don't know what it is about me that they feel comfortable with following me and asking me questions, right? And I want them to feel comfortable with me. Everyone is not that open, and that's their choice, and it's okay. Me, on the other hand, I feel like how in the world are we going to bridge the gap if we're only preaching to each other here on the LGBT side, but we're not bringing you the information? I don't expect you to know. What I do know is that you and my mother did the absolute best that you knew how to do with the tools that you were working with at the time. Period.
Right.
Point blank. And that was, I told my mother this in the conversation that we had last week. I said, what I had to do was, as your child, is realize that you were a woman first, and that you were a mother, and that you have a story, and that having a child such as myself has to be difficult. I also understand that a lot of that difficulty is partly ego based and partly concern over our safety, right?
Right.
But speaking with my dad about this, because my dad was instrumental in helping me to my dad and both of my mentors, Tori and Ray, to help me understand my mother, as a parent, as a woman with a story, right? And and to have compassion. So my resentment turned from anger, resentment, to compassion, to acceptance, to forgiveness. So that's a process, right? And in that process, I was angry at her in the beginning, right? Because yes, I did look at her as the source of my pain in the beginning, right? In the beginning of the movie, you saw, how that started, and that was just an example. But yeah, I used to get my ass handed to me for fucking with Barbie, but she needed a mean asymmetrical, because Salt and Pepper was rocking one, why couldn't Barbie?
Right.
So I used to, steal my cousin's Barbie, and I would try to, my hardest to hide it, like hide Barbie underneath my toys that I was supposed to be playing with. And, it got to the place where I hid it. Now, the part that you talk about, that you felt like you did something wrong. If you were to see my mom in our relationship, I went shopping with her. I went to the hair salon with her. I went everywhere with her. That was my homegirl. And you have my brother, on the other hand, who's completely opposite of me, right? And wasn't down. He wasn't doing none of that shit. Matter of fact, don't even look this way when y'all, head to those places. But I feel like there's a piece of my mother that she thinks she turned me gay, or she made me like this because she took me on those places and stuff, and she didn't, she contributed to it. She was a co-conspirator or some shit like that, instead of just understanding that it is what it is, right?
It is.
And I understand that she didn't understand that at the time, so she's dealing with, what are the people going to think about me? What are they going to think of me as a mother? Now the thing is, I've never been able to really fully get my mother to express those feelings, because that right there, you can heal that shit. But what was hard for me to heal was the Bible said and God said in chapter John 13, all of that stuff. That's hiding. I need to know what you're feeling, because my dad was able to say, listen, I knew, like you said, my dad said, I knew from the time you start walking and talking, something was up,
Right.
right? And he said, and he started going through some
Mhm.
feelings, but then he realized, hold up, all of the issues that I have to do with my ego and not with my child,
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
right?
that you say that because Shelly and I used to go back and forth all the time because I would always say, let the child be who the child is going to be. Leave her
Mm-hmm.
alone. She'll decide, or at the time he would decide what he wants to be, because I saw it right away. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that, like, in your mom's case, and I could be wrong, and in Shelly's case, I think they get caught up not so much in the religion, but so worried about what other people think as opposed to worrying about what's best for the child. You know what I'm saying? So he or she will always come to me and I'll be like, look, be you. As long as you're comfortable in the skin you're in, don't nobody give a shit what somebody else think or whatever somebody else say.
Yeah,
You have to live your life, because at the end of the day, it's your life to live and nobody can tell you how to do that. Make
yeah,
yourself happy. Don't worry about making everybody else happy.
that's what I said to my
Yeah.
mother. I was like, it has to be hard for you. I'm letting you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm acknowledging your pain as a mother
Right.
and your confusion,
Right.
and all of that. I'm acknowledging. That was the first time that I was able to do that. That was last week, you all, and this has been a
Right.
Wow.
12-year process of me um, actively discovering who I am and honoring that truth, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until last week that we had that particular conversation where I acknowledged her pain as a mother and as a woman, right? So
Okay.
it's a process, and I did
Mm-hmm.
not want my mother to beat herself up. That's why I didn't want to put too much of her in the film with only 7 minutes, because I was not going to have nobody beat her up either, for the
Right.
Right.
decisions that she made, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully aware. I'm not in a place of anger at all. I'm in a place of compassion. I've had some frustrations here and there over the years, but
Right.
it's
Mm-hmm.
love, it's compassion, and I know I that's why the film is called The Love Throughout, because I always felt love. I always felt love.
Well, that's good. That's great.
And see, with
Yeah.
me with her, like I think what you said, like you allowed yourself to feel her pain. Even though now I'm around my daughter, I see her often. She comes by, she visits. I always feel like I gotta protect her from the world. Like I don't want nobody talking, saying nothing crazy, because people are cruel, and I don't want nobody looking at her
Yeah.
strange. Men that I have been with have beat her down, set her up for stuff, done so. So I have this wall. It's like she's always guarded. And the one thing she always says to me is, "You don't accept me yet. You don't love me like I need to be loved. You're all I have, but you still." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm giving you all I know how to give, but something, she still don't feel something. She's like, it's still something, Ma. It's still something. And she says it all the time. She's like, you see me, it's beautiful, but you still ain't loving me the way I need to be. And I'm lost with, I'm really emotional. I toggle with that because I'm like, I love you, but what else can I do to protect you from this that's bigger than me?
Hmm. Yeah,
So it's painful for me. And then I look at you, and I think this is why I followed your story so closely, because I'm like, here I have this beautiful girl on my page who I adore, like I adore you. And I'm going, here I have my kid who I can't understand, but I get it from somebody else, and I can't understand why I'm going wrong. Like,
yeah.
where's the
I'm
wrong
gonna
in
tell
me?
you, the I think, and now this is, I don't want to speak for her. This is just a theory. Um, because a lot of that, and listen, you're a mother. You're gonna be protective. You're gonna, like, that's just what it is. At the same time, um, the way I was raised in this new life that I have,
Mm-hmm.
I thank God I have the mentors that I had. They taught me not to be a second class citizen, not to place myself in a
Mm-hmm.
box, and not to allow people to place me in a box. So if you notice, when you follow my pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see me
Mhm.
everywhere. I'm going to
Yes.
be in the
Yes.
subway. I'm going to be in the Bronx. I'm going to be in the village. I'm going to be whatever the fuck I want to be, where I want,
Right.
when I want to go. Just like
Rightfully
anybody else
so.
can walk up in these spaces,
Right.
I can too. And the thing is, I don't want anyone to treat me different. Like when I lived in Atlanta,
Okay.
and you wouldn't believe this, but when I lived in Atlanta, like I, and this is where I got the bulk of my self acceptance at. I thank God for this experience. But people used to stare at me, point at me, laugh at me all
Mhm.
the time, every goddamn day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I made a decision and was like, okay, so okay, I got a couple choices here, right? So I could like give them my power and let them dictate how the fuck I feel about me, which I've been doing that all my life, and we see that didn't work. Or I could take
Right.
my power back and know who I
Yeah.
am, right? And so that's the thing. Instead of trying to try to protect her from the world doing these, that they're gonna fucking do it.
Right.
They're gonna do it.
Mhm.
Like my people told me how to self-acceptance. While they're staring at, like my dad told me, if they're gonna look at you, you better give them a nasty ass walk. You better do it. Okay, do it because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. My dad was like, if they look at you and they staring at you, they're like, oh, you dress like a woman. I'm dressed like a pretty ass woman, though. I'm dressed like a fly ass woman. Like I ain't sloppy, I ain't
Exactly.
late, I ain't tired,
Okay.
or delayed.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
what
Clean.
can you say? What can you like at this point and at this stage? And so basically what I'm saying is they helped me to get to a place that at this stage in the junction, there is absolutely positively nothing anybody in this world can say to hurt me. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know whose I am, right? I'm the spirit
Mm-hmm.
inside the
Right.
body. I'm perfect. I was born perfect. I'm all that. You're all that. You were born perfect. You are perfect, right? So once I learned that shit, I was like, oh, they mad at me because they don't know they're perfect.
I
Exactly.
love
And
it.
and that's crazy that you say that because she and I always talk about this, my niece, and I'll be like, and she like, I said, you got to stop getting in your feelings when people stare. I said, they might be staring because you're so damn beautiful or whatever they staring for. Fuck it. I said, let them stare. Give them something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I instill this
She
in her
does. She
all
says
the
it
time.
all
Let
the
them
time.
look. Let them look. I said, evidently it's something that you have that they're lacking. So you better work that shit. Be comfortable in the skin you in and
Work
keep it
it.
moving. I tell her that
Look
Yeah.
the
all the
fuck
time. I
of it.
drill it in her. I do. I drill it in her
That's
because she's like, they
awesome.
just, and you can feel like her pulling back, like the self consciousness and, all this stuff. Be you. Don't hold back who you are. Just be yourself. That's it.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm me every
Yeah, you
day.
were. That's in me.
Yeah.
This is what you see on social media. That is me. There's no cut on that.
That's,
That's me.
yes.
Like that's all the time. I go everywhere. I get respect in the hood. Shit. I met my damn husband in one of the worst hoods. I'm walking down the street like boom boom boom, and he looking like, what the hell is she doing over here? I'm like living my best life. I'm walking through, going through, doing my life like everybody else.
uh,
No.
And dare you,
trying to tell you.
and dare you, right? As long as you don't invade my space, we good.
So they can
Period.
stare, they can look, they can say, speak, whatever they want. It's like
Let them.
this is my shield, and this is where I'm at with this.
This is me. Here I
I live in a
am.
bubble of
I have
happiness.
arrived, honey. What'd you
Yes,
say,
I
Lily?
live in a bubble of happiness. I don't know what y'all doing. I don't
Yes.
know nothing about nothing. It all in this bubble. It's all positivity. It's fun. It's living my best life. It's doing what I love. If I don't love it, I'm not doing it. If I don't enjoy I'm not doing it. If I don't like the energy, I'm not participating. If you don't treat me with respect, you're not allowed to participate in my life because that's an honor to participate in my life, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
all should know
Okay.
that it's an honor to
Yes.
participate in our lives. I'm aware of that. I told my own mother that. I told my own
Okay.
mother that. If you cannot honor my boundaries and respect me, you cannot participate in my life. You don't get to do
Girls, you
that.
said a mouthful right there. You said a
Yes.
whole mouthful. It
But
does.
that lets, go ahead, Shelley.
Go ahead. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that just lets you know it doesn't matter who it is. You have to let people know who you are and where you're coming from at all costs. Because if you don't, they're gonna think they can do what they want to do, think they can treat you how they want to treat you. But you have to say, look, you better pump your brakes because you got the wrong one today. Don't nobody have time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me
Mm-hmm.
be me. Let me be great. You like you said, you can either get on this boat and ride, or you can hop your ass off in the river. It don't even matter. And
Not to
keep it
me.
moving. That's all I'm
Not
saying.
to me.
Mm-mm.
Because
Okay.
listen,
I'm telling
I
you.
always tell people this
Listen.
ain't got nothing to do with gay, straight, bi, nothing. I always tell people to oh shit, I just lost my train of thought. I told y'all I'm tired. I need a vacation so bad. Um
It's okay.
Me too.
God, it was something about this. You were saying hop your ass on.
I said you can either
Vonda.
ride this boat or hop your ass off in the river. What?
Okay, I'll come back to it because I didn't went total blank. I am so freaking tired, y'all. Please excuse me. But
It's okay.
It's okay.
yeah, it was damn it. It was something I wanted to say that I tell people. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, boom. I tell people that I only focus on those who love, support, and respect me. Right? Those are the
Mm-hmm.
only people that I am going to give my power and my energy to. Right?
Okay.
Anything else that's not is not going to get that from me. I'm sorry. I'm busy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm busy, and even if I'm that busy, I'm busy being happy. So I'm not giving you
Right.
I
that
love it. I
energy.
love it.
So yeah, so I don't have any leftover. There's no leftovers. Like so, I would much rather give that energy to those who love me. So if you only got two people who love, respect, and uplift you, then shit, you only got two people to worry about. You're doing damn good. You
That's
know,
it.
Right.
that's more energy for you.
You're so
Yes. The
right. You're
smaller the
so right.
better.
And
Exactly.
we do. We have a very small circle. And me and Vaughn, we've been with each other for a long time. And people don't understand our energy. We don't even try to make people understand it anymore. It is, you want to call us bisexual, you want to call us gay, lesbians, whatever you want to call us. We know how we
I
get
don't give a
down.
shit.
We know our role. We know what we play in each other's life. We know where we're trying to go. And we say this to each other all the time. I don't have time for people to, I don't like your picture. It was ratchet. I don't like what you did on this. Well, get off my page because you know why? It's me. I'm going to
Yep.
be Shelly live until I fall off the earth. If you don't like it, then I ain't who you need to be rocking with. This is who I am. Love
Exactly.
me, like me, or leave me. So,
24/7.
and I'm telling you, this is how I've been. And people hate me because of it. And I'm just like, well, you know what? You're going to hate me all the time then because I ain't changing. I've been happy this
And,
way.
When you
Go
but
ahead,
you
babe.
see, people
go
have
ahead.
to identify you. Like that's the annoying part of society for me. So let me
Mm-hmm.
break down. That goes into the whole non-binary, what that means, right?
Okay.
Because I tell people all the time when they ask me, like, do you identify as male? Do you identify as female? He, she, all this shit, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all and neither at the same damn time. I'm not I'm not this body. I'm the spirit inside the body, right? This is only the vehicle to take me through this human experience. And the fact that folks be so focused on that shit lets me know where they're at spiritually because that is
Mm-hmm.
so limiting, right? Like that's where the whole why be limited thing comes from because I'm not limited. So I'm not going to be limited to these boxes of gay, straight, bi, this. It's like those people need those labels so they can feel comfortable. And what I mean by
Right.
that is when people ask me those questions and I tell them I don't care what you refer to me as, then they're like, but no, but tell me, like, just tell me, should I call you he or she? And they get flustered because they need a box to put me in. Well, bitch, it ain't one
Right.
big enough for me. Stop, right?
Okay.
So don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
and so that's when we get to the whole sexuality thing like that because I don't look at sexuality the way that most people look at it. I just don't. I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in the confines and the way that we're taught. I look at sex or attraction or whatever. It's energy based, it's form based, it's genitalia based, it's all of those things together, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
taught like, you know, if you're a man, you're supposed to be with a woman. If you're a woman, you're supposed to be with a man, or women are masculine, men
Right.
are feminine. Okay, all fucking lies. We all have X and Y chromosomes. Okay, so that's the
Right.
first lie. The other thing is we all have masculine and feminine energy. That's the second lie.
Mm-hmm.
And the other third lie is that everyone is not born with just a penis and a vagina. Some people are born with both. Okay,
Right.
so
Right.
and I know people who are born with both. All right,
We had a friend that was born like that.
yeah. So let's start with all that shit. So now I don't crush all of those myths, right? So now that gives a female the right to have more, because the thing is we all have masculine and feminine energy. It's just that one energy usually dominates
Hmm.
the other,
The
but there's
other.
some of us where it's
Right.
like an even, right. Then
Mm-hmm.
you got someone like me, was born in the male body, right, with the male genitalia, but my form is more feminine. I have more estrogen. I've never been on hormones a day in my life, but I naturally got and produce more estrogen than a male does. That's where these things come from, right? So I tell people, if you're upset with them, then take it up with God. He'll be glad to deal with you. But don't come to me with that shit. I ain't do it,
Right.
right? I'm just embracing it. Okay.
I love you.
And then you got the energy, right? So then you got
Right.
the my energy is more feminine. Like but I don't deny my male side. I don't deny any of little bit of masculine, just a little bit. The masculine energy that I have, right? I don't deny none of that shit because that's all me. And that's what
Right.
had me in
Right.
turmoil in the first place, trying to deny pieces of who I am. No, I'm embracing all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And yeah.
You explained that very well because I read it and I was like, okay, because it's saying that you don't identify with either. It's either you're fluid or you're just who you are whenever you feel like being whoever you want to be. And everybody is
Mm-hmm.
like that. They just don't know how to let it out. You know what I mean? They want to
Yes.
keep it
Hmm.
in, and they don't want people to be like they worry about too much of what people are going to think or what people are going to say instead of just
Right.
accepting it, embracing it, and letting that shit work for you. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
because
You know what I mean? Like,
all of us aren't even monogamous.
Hmm.
mm-hmm. Right,
And that's why we
right.
wonder why we cheating on our mates and our spouses. Because homeboy, you're not meant to be monogamous. Stop trying to be, you know? Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's so many different things. Like I mean, like sexual things that people talk to me about that they want to do, but society won't allow them to do it. And it's like these are consenting adults. For instance, do you know how many females I meet who want to fuck me with a damn strap on? Now I ain't gonna let you do it, but the
Really?
fact that you want to do it, it's all your business. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like they ask me, right? And I ain't got a problem with them asking me because all I got to do is say no, right?
No,
But
Right.
right.
I don't feel no type of way about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because it is what it is. Like, I attract masculine men, right? With
Mm-hmm.
masculine form, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I tend to attract. And the men that I attract, they like feminine men, right? Feminine form,
Mm-hmm.
feminine
Hmm.
energy, male genitalia, right? That's what they
Right.
want.
Okay.
They
Right.
they're not looking for the female genitalia, you know. So it's and so but you know how many of them are in so much pain because they can't own that shit?
Yep. Worried about what other people
Yeah.
thinking. That's like one of my closest friends. He's gay, and every dude that he's ever been with has been a straight man, the masculine
Me,
man.
that's my story.
You know what I
That's
mean?
my
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm married to a guy like that. I'm married to yeah, I keep my relationship and you know, but I
Right. I
am
got you.
yeah. He ain't nothing to play with. So like, you know,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, thank God I'm married to somebody who's spiritually and emotionally very, very mature. So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, ain't nobody gonna say nothing to him that they know better. But
Right.
he he don't give a fuck. I met somebody on my vibrational match who's like he always says
Mm-hmm.
he sums it up with you can't help who you fall in love with, you know, and it's
And
just
that's
Right.
true. Lord, ain't that the truth?
it's
Look.
the truth.
It
God,
is.
look, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. The
Yeah.
energy sometimes be like, woo. But
Woo.
yeah, this
Mm-mm.
so since we're almost to the end of this show, but I do want you to talk, the people that are on watch, just tell them a little bit about your movie, where they can see it still, the 7 minutes that's still up. I know it was up like
Mhm.
7 days, coming down in 7 days, so they can kind of get a glimpse of it. It is on all of our platforms and the things you're doing now, and if somebody wants to reach out to you, where they can find you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the short film that is based on my life called The Love Throughout can be found on YouTube at 3BR Studio, just like 3 bedroom. That's what it's short for. So 3BR Studio without the S. That's where you'll be able to find the short film. If you go on Shelly's page, you'll see that she's post links to the premiere of the movie. The premiere was dope as fuck because we had a
Yes,
lot
it
going
was.
on.
It
Like
was.
a lot going on. It was very informative. So we go in depth with more stuff like sexually and stuff like that, so people could understand more about the trans experience. So there's that. The first film that we did, The Greatness After, can be found on 3BR Studio as well, because those two films are going to be a part of one trilogy. So it's going to be those two stories pretty much. It's going to be one
Hmm.
film at the end of the day. We're going to be shooting the next one soon. And then you
Okay.
get the full picture. As for me, as you see on the screen, it's at YB Limited. Everything on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's going any of them, TikTok is YB Limited. That's my brand name. If you're looking for positive, fun, inspirational, funny, all of that stuff. If you looking to get away from all this shit that we be looking at, when the
Hmm.
division, the fighting, the fear, all of you looking away to get away from all that shit, you can come over to my page. Come on, yeah, yeah.
Go
And
on the
listen,
lilies, y'all.
bring them on
Uh,
over. Bring the haters too. We like them too. We love them too, child.
right.
Hmm.
Well, let the
And
haters come on. That's what keep you
Oh, come on.
motivated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
I
Okay.
say
love them.
that, I say that to the viewers tonight that's watching, that will go back and rewatch this show. I've been with Lily for a long time. Her energy is absolutely amazing. Her page is absolutely positive. She is one of them people that reach back out. She will answer you. Phenomenal, phenomenal being. Period. Period. Hands down. I absolutely adore her. So y'all get at her page, look at her stuff, follow her, like, share, and subscribe her stuff. She is a monster within herself. And she's gonna be as
Listen.
big as life
Listen.
takes her. I can tell. Go ahead,
And
babe.
Thank you
need
so
some
much.
fashion, if you need some fashion tips and some makeup tips, Lily B's on point. Cause that one with that black and white outfit on, girl, when I tell you killed that damn thing, I said, oh my God. I'm trying to tell
Thank
you.
you so
I was
much.
like, okay,
I just
you did that, honey.
I just love to create. My husband is turning one of my rooms into a walk-in closet, but it's going to look like a boutique. So
Uh-huh.
it's going to give the
Okay.
feel that, like, if my girlfriends come over, like the moment they walk in, they're going to instantly want to play dress up, right? So yeah, so when you come to New York, it'll be done. It's definitely gonna be done. His ass gonna have it done by next week when I get it back from vacation. I leave him. He
I love it.
he gonna have it done.
Let's get on a
Okay,
time limit. Somebody
he
just
gonna
said they
have it done.
love your energy.
Oh, tell them thank you and thank you, ladies.
She
I am
said,
so
thank you,
proud of you.
Orlando.
Oh,
Thank
is
Go
it
ahead.
you.
is it Orlando?
Yeah,
Yes.
Orlando.
Oh wow, is it? What's the last name on there?
Bunce.
Vintage.
Vine. Bunce. Vincent. I always say
Okay,
Bunce.
Vintage.
okay. So I thought it was because my best friend is named Orlando too, so I didn't know if it was my best friend or a new friend named Orlando. So it's a new friend. Hello,
A new
Orlando.
friend, Orlando.
Yes.
And listen, ladies, I am proud of you too. I've been watching you. It's hard to get my attention because I'm usually so busy. I don't scroll through social media like that.
Mhm.
So feel free to tag me on future shows, but I have been catching you anyway because it seems like when I go on to post something, you all are there. I don't know. I click in, I stay there, I comment, I have fun, I come back, you
Thank
know.
you.
So yeah,
Thank
you're doing your
you.
thing. Yeah.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it. We do.
Thank
We
you.
do.
We
We do.
appreciate
We
that.
appreciate it. We so do. And thank you. Thank you so much for being on our platform today. We really, really appreciate this. We're gonna
We have
keep
loved
vibing with
it.
you. We're gonna keep following you and keep supporting you and just,
Hmm.
just moving these mountains. And thank you for coming on here sharing your story. I think it will move a lot of people that's fighting with a lot of stuff. And I really, really
Hmm.
appreciate that.
It's been
So
very informative, and I like you piggyback off of what you said. I think that a lot of people who are in denial, come on out. Like you said, if whatever the closet is, like Lili said, come on out the closet, close the door, and just be yourself. That's it, because
Burn
that's the
that
only way
bitch
you're gonna
down.
truly be happy. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
the only way
See?
you're gonna truly be happy. Live your
Yeah.
life, honey.
Okay.
We
I
moving
said,
into
but we have loved,
2021,
loved,
honey.
loved. Yes, we have loved having you on here. And I was watching some of your stuff, and I was just like, oh my goodness. And then when I saw the clip, I told Shelly, I said, I just love her already. I was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Cause I
it was
talk
so
about you all
awesome.
the time. I'm like, girl, you
She
you
talks
gotta get
about
on
you
the
all the
girl page
time.
all the time.
You ain't gotta
So
be. She
yeah,
say Lily. I say, is it Lily or Lily? She says Lily. She always messing up names. But I
I
said,
but
It's
she was
okay. I'm married to Shelly, and it's okay. But she said, look, when it comes off her tongue, it come off with love. I'm like, so
right.
it could be Lily, child. It
thank
could
you
be
for
Lily.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She said it's love. Look, listen,
Yes, it's coming from a
I'm a
good
little
place.
sister of Lily. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we
But
come.
we
Look,
have
New York.
we
loved
are
having you.
coming. We are
Yes, we
coming to
are.
New York, and when we get there, we are looking for you to have
Yeah,
brunch, lunch, whatever it is, to just to touch you, just touch your girl, just touch it and say, this is the real.
Get
So
some of that
yeah,
energy you got.
yes. Experience
yeah.
Yeah.
the energy.
Get some of
I
that
like I
energy.
like
I can use
people.
it right now.
Yes, I like people. Like I feel like I'm much better in person. I had to get used to this, but I'm liking that we have this option, right? Because I'm in New
Right.
York,
Right.
you're in Atlanta, and we can still do this. So I'm learning to embrace all of it, everything that comes with this human experience, and this is a new part of it. So,
Hmm.
yep.
Yes. Well,
So
we
everybody,
love you,
we've
love you,
come
love
upon this
you.
hour. Yeah, we've come upon this hour as we often do. Thank you everybody for chiming
Yeah, it
and
was so
watching.
quick.
It goes by fast. But once again,
It
thank you for
does.
being a part of our cast, y'all. She's named all the platforms. Go back and watch it where you can find her and follow her. Follow her,
Mhm.
follow her, follow her. As we always say, for our page, like, share, and subscribe. This is Shelly Live and V Lovebird. As always, y'all, loving life, loving what we do, and loving y'all. Do you have anything to say before
You
I
got
end it? I don't
something you
want
want
to
to
end it
say?
with
No, I think we done said
Well,
it all. I'm just
we're so happy to have had you and learn the stuff that we learned. Trust me. And we're, like I said, we're going to continue to follow you. Y'all follow her as well, as we always say, like Shelly said, subscribe and all that good stuff. And please check out her page because you'll learn a lot of stuff. Really.
Mhm.
Really.
Any
All right,
last
y'all.
words,
Well, we're
Lily?
going to go ahead.
No, I
oh
said any
me?
last
Okay.
words, Lily. Yeah.
Listen, always remember to ask yourself why be limited. Mwah. That's it.
Loving life, loving what we do. To the next one.
Ladies
Good
and
night,
gentlemen,
y'all.
you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go.
Get it. Right. Fun is jamming. Hold
Ladies
on.
and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love.
I don't know what it's doing tonight, y'all.
Ladies
It's
and
just like
gentlemen,
doing
you're
something.
now
It does
tuned
this.
into Naughty
Well, anyway,
or
y'all, we're going to
Nice.
go ahead and end
Let's
this.
go.
Me don't want no
Okay. Fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. She slip on on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Shelly light and be lovebird.